We have some breaking news that just came into our newsroom that we have to bring to you. It's official there. British rock star Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76. Want to put up this post that we have from the New York Post that they made on their X account saying Black Sabbath legend Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, dead at the age of 76.
The Osbourne estate is in chaos following an explosive revelation that Ozzy Osbourne's fortune, estimated in the hundreds of millions, will not be passed down to his family, but instead redirected to the very bandmates who stood beside him on stage through decades of rock and ruin. The shock decision has sent tremors through the heavy metal community, and Sharon Osbourne, known for her fierce loyalty and command of the Osbourne brand, is reportedly furious beyond belief, according to multiple sources close to the family. The fans, many of whom gathered outside the family's Buckinghamshire estate, hoping for clarity, were stunned by the news. Longtime followers of the Osbourne saga, some draped in classic Black Sabbath gear, expressed disbelief. One emotional supporter shouted, "We always thought the family had this locked down. Nobody saw this coming." City officials familiar with the estate's tax filings confirmed that a restructuring of the Osbourne Trust had been completed just days before the announcement. The arrangement channels a significant portion of Ozzy's assets to a private holding company co-managed by surviving members of his legendary band. Legal insiders say this could include royalties from streaming rights, merchandise, unreleased recordings, and ongoing licensing deals. This is a betrayal, claimed an eyewitness close to the Osbourne camp who requested anonymity. Sharon fought tooth and nail to build Ozzy's brand into what it is today, and now she's been sidelined by something she never saw coming. The move appears to stem from a rewritten clause in Ozzy's final testament, which refers repeatedly to loyalty forged through music, not blood. That line alone has become a rallying cry online, where hashtags like #OzzyLegacy and #SharonBlindsided are trending across platforms. The Osbourne children, particularly Jack and Kelly, have remained silent, but insiders suggest they were shocked and disoriented by the news. At the heart of this sudden fortune shift is a deep bond between Ozzy and his original bandmates, men who endured the wildest extremes of rock stardom alongside him. Black Sabbath's founding members reportedly held private visits with Ozzy in the weeks leading up to the trust revision. While no official statements have been released, a source close to the band said Ozzy wanted to reward those who stuck with him in the fire, not just in the spotlight. The fans, meanwhile, have begun splitting into camps. Some rally behind Ozzy's decision, praising it as a final gesture of brotherhood. Others stand with Sharon, citing decades of sacrifice, branding mastery, and family struggle. Outside Osbourne Holdings' London headquarters, a small but vocal crowd held signs that read "Ozzy is family" and "Sharon deserved better." Sharon herself has not made a public appearance since the news broke, but according to those near her inner circle, she's been on the phone with legal teams nonstop. "She's not going to let this stand," said one source. "She's built empires. She knows every angle. This is just the opening round." Legal analysts are already weighing in. While testament revisions are difficult to challenge in UK courts, especially when medical evaluations support the testator's mental clarity, Sharon's legal representatives are said to be combing through decades of contracts and brand ownership records to build a potential challenge. "This isn't just about money," said entertainment attorney Felix Rowe. "It's about legacy. If Sharon can prove she materially contributed to building the Ozzy Osbourne empire, there may be grounds to reclaim intellectual property or brand equity." Back at the estate, security has been tightened. Drones hover overhead, while private guards monitor the perimeter. Several news vans have taken up residence on nearby roads, hoping to catch a glimpse of Sharon or anyone in the family. Locals say tensions are high. "You can feel it in the air," said one neighbor. "Something seismic just happened." Social media has become a battleground for speculation and support. Posts praising Ozzy's brotherhood first mentality clash with threads lambasting the decision as short-sighted and cruel. One trending meme reads, "When you marry the Prince of Darkness, you better read the fine print." Even other rock legends have chimed in. Tweets from unnamed industry veterans express shock, with one calling the move a mic drop from the grave. Meanwhile, tabloid headlines grow more lurid by the hour, fanning flames of betrayal and grief. But perhaps most telling are the murmurs about unreleased memoirs, secret recordings, and documentary footage that may now fall under the control of the bandmates. "They've been handed the vault," said one executive. "They now own not just the past, but the narrative." If true, that shift has massive implications for the future of the Osbourne brand. licensing deals, streaming rights, biopic discussions, everything may now pass through a different gate. This could fracture the legacy, warned Rowe, or rewrite it entirely. The fans remain torn. Outside the gates, someone placed a single black rose and a note that read simply, "Loyalty over legacy." As the dust begins to settle, one thing is clear: Sharon Osbourne is not backing down, and the rock world may be bracing for a second, even more explosive act. Inside the once unified Osbourne empire, silence now screams louder than any guitar solo. As Sharon Osbourne hunkers down with her legal team, a fresh wave of revelations has detonated through the entertainment world. Multiple insiders confirm that the bandmates not only stand to inherit royalties, but may also gain partial creative control over unreleased projects Ozzy had stored away in vaults guarded as tightly as his legacy itself. The fans, once focused solely on Ozzy's health and music, are now frantically parsing every lyric, every interview, and every behind-the-scenes clip for clues. Some claim that this move was telegraphed years ago. Cryptic lines in songs, unspoken tensions on reality shows, or even Ozzy's statements about music being thicker than blood. One fan standing outside the Osbourne recording studio in Los Angeles shouted, "He told us this would happen. We just didn't listen." Inside the legal world, the maneuver has sparked whispers of a precedent-setting case. Sharon, ever the strategist, is reportedly building a multi-pronged approach, challenging the legitimacy of the estate revision, questioning advisory influence of the bandmates, and leveraging the mountains of evidence that her business acumen transformed Ozzy from a troubled legend into a global brand. One source close to her inner circle noted, "She's not just hurt, she's mobilizing." City officials say Osbourne Enterprises has already seen internal account freezes, flagged transactions, and requested audits as a result of the sudden shakeup. Lawyers on both sides are scrambling to piece together who owns what and who will ultimately control the licensing rights for everything from Ozzy's name to the family's reality archives. The bandmates themselves have remained eerily quiet, issuing no formal statement, but according to someone present at their last known meeting, one of them was heard saying, "This isn't revenge, it's respect." Ozzy knew what he was doing. Whether that will hold up under cross-examination is a matter of time. Meanwhile, cracks are beginning to show in the Osbourne Children's United Front. Kelly Osbourne, who has long defended her mother publicly, is said to be conflicted and withdrawn, while Jack, who once co-managed parts of the family business, is allegedly considering whether to go public with his own version of events. A close friend of the family revealed, "Jack's been holding something back. If he speaks, it could shake everything." Supporters of Sharon have taken to the streets, some even protesting outside radio stations and streaming services known to house Ozzy's catalog. They demand that distribution be paused until rightful ownership is resolved. Placards read, "She built the empire, and Sharon was the real manager." Music industry executives are watching nervously, especially those with pending deals involving Ozzy's posthumous content. A major streaming platform reportedly shelved a docu-series launch after hearing rumblings about potential injunctions. One executive admitted, "We can't touch anything until this mess is cleaned up." No one wants to bet against Sharon, and yet Sharon herself has remained a ghost in the public eye. Not a single camera has captured her since the announcement, but her presence is felt in every leaked memo, every back-channel phone call, and every whispered conversation in music circles. "She's moving in silence," said one observer, "but make no mistake, she's coming." Back at the Osbourne estate, security footage reportedly caught couriers leaving with stacks of document boxes labeled legacy, legal, and most notably, private. The staff, sworn to confidentiality, has remained tight-lipped, but one groundskeeper was overheard saying, "Whatever's in those boxes, it's about to change everything." Sharon's allies are already circling. Former business partners, publicists, and brand managers who once worked on the Osbourne empire are coming forward to offer statements, affidavits, and testimony to reinforce her central role in managing and preserving Ozzy's image. "There was no Osbourne brand without Sharon," said a former MTV executive. "She didn't just stand beside him, she carried him." And as the story gains traction, new parties may enter the arena. There's buzz that financial backers with interest in Ozzy's licensing deals are considering suing for breach of contract if their arrangements are disrupted. That would drag the bandmates into a legal quagmire they may not be equipped to handle. But what may truly determine the outcome isn't paperwork, it's public opinion. The fans, split between sympathy and suspicion, are being courted by both camps. Sharon's team has quietly begun reaching out to prominent fan clubs and influencers in the rock community, pushing a message of loyalty, family, and betrayal. "They're not just fighting in court," said one digital strategist. "They're fighting in the comments section." In the middle of all this, a bootleg video surfaced online that appears to show a tearful Ozzy in a dimly lit studio, whispering about wanting his band to take care of what matters. The video, now viral, has been dissected frame by frame, but even that clip is under dispute. Some claim it's been doctored, others say it was filmed under pressure. "Nothing's certain anymore," said a longtime producer who worked with Ozzy in the 90s. "Except this, Sharon won't let this be his final verse." And as more leaks, memos, and statements begin to circulate, the industry braces for what's shaping up to be the most dramatic battle over a rock icon's legacy in history. If you're ready for part 3, the turning point in the war, the leaks from the vault, and Sharon's next ruthless legal strike, just say, continue. The gates may be closed, but the storm inside the Osbourne estate has only intensified. After days of silence, Sharon Osbourne has made her move. According to multiple insiders with first-hand access, she has authorized a legal blitz unlike anything the entertainment industry has seen in years, a full-scale offensive aimed at reclaiming control of Ozzy's legacy, assets, and intellectual property. The fans, still divided, held their breath as news broke that Sharon's attorneys had filed an emergency petition in Chancery Court. The filing, said to be over 300 pages long, argues that the last-minute amendment to Ozzy's trust was executed under undue influence, emotional coercion, and without proper legal oversight. Though the language is clinical, the implications are thunderous. "She's going for blood," muttered a source inside one of the firms reviewing the case. "This isn't about clawing back a few royalties. It's a complete repudiation of the new arrangement. She wants the slate wiped clean." At the heart of the petition is a dossier compiled over years that details every moment Sharon claims she acted as Ozzy's manager, financial guardian, and creative partner. Included are contracts, correspondence, meeting notes, and handwritten memos between Sharon and Ozzy that, she argues, prove that she was the architect of every major decision made after his solo career reignited. But that's not all. In a stunning twist, the legal team also submitted a sealed annex reportedly containing audio recordings of Ozzy expressing doubts about altering the trust. While the contents remain undisclosed, a former assistant leaked a chilling detail. In one of the recordings, he says, "What if this all hurts Sharon?" That phrase alone is ricocheting through social media, reinforcing the perception that the changes to the estate were rushed and possibly manipulated. Meanwhile, the bandmates have finally broken their silence. In a joint statement released through their lawyer, they said, "We honor Ozzy's wishes. What he left us was not money, it was trust. We're not at war with Sharon, but we won't be erased." Their lawyer added that the changes to the estate were done under full legal compliance, with witnesses and a verified third-party executor present at every stage. But Sharon's next play has the potential to shift the entire narrative. Through her media contacts, she secured exclusive interviews with key figures from Ozzy's past. Former producers, tour managers, even family friends have begun speaking out, most siding with Sharon. One longtime tour accountant confessed, "Ozzy never once read a contract. Sharon read everything. She negotiated everything. She protected him." The fans are taking sides as the evidence pours in. Online forums, once dedicated to album breakdowns and concert footage, are now battlegrounds of loyalty. New hashtags trend by the hour. Ja, Team Sharon. Ozzy was misled. Ha, bandmates crossed the line. Meanwhile, a satirical clip showing Sharon shredding a fake will on live television has gone viral, mocking the entire situation but keeping it firmly in the public eye. Industry analysts are already warning of collateral damage. One merch supplier halted distribution, citing unstable chain of ownership. A major music publisher has paused a licensing deal with a film studio planning a biopic, fearing legal complications. Even the Osbourne Podcast Network has reportedly delayed episodes indefinitely. And then, out of nowhere, a leak emerged. A USB drive sent anonymously to a rock journalist contained files labeled OL Confidential. Inside, rough demos, unreleased verses, and a personal letter Ozzy had penned but never sent. The letter, addressed simply to my brothers, thanked them for the music, but expressed a wish that no money ever get between what we built. The letter's authenticity is being questioned, but that hasn't stopped it from spreading like wildfire. For many fans, it casts doubt on everything. If genuine, it would suggest Ozzy never intended to exclude his family. He simply wanted to honor old friendships without dismantling the empire Sharon built. "Now the question isn't who's right," said one radio host. "It's who's telling the truth." Back in the Osbourne residence, security has been tripled. Sources say Sharon is preparing for a court appearance. One observer noted she was seen pacing the estate's private garden, talking on the phone, clutching a manila folder so tightly her knuckles turned white. "She's about to drop something big," said a publicist familiar with the family. "Sharon doesn't blink unless she's about to swing. That swing may come in the form of a countersuit." Rumors are swirling that Sharon's legal team is preparing a defamation claim, citing alleged manipulation of public opinion and false statements made by the bandmates during recent interviews. Meanwhile, a new player has entered the scene, a private investigator reportedly hired by Sharon to look into the days leading up to the trust's revision. This investigator is said to be reviewing surveillance footage, call logs, and hotel records in hopes of proving that Ozzy was pressured or isolated when the document was changed. It's no longer just a family battle. It's a full-blown investigation into the soul of a legacy. In the music world, people are rattled. A former record executive summed it up. "We're watching the disintegration of one of rock's most powerful alliances. And no matter who wins, the legacy's going to be different now. And what of the fans? Some say they'll stand by Ozzy, regardless of who holds the paperwork. Others feel betrayed, unsure of what to believe. Outside the family's LA compound, someone laid a guitar pick on the ground with the words scratched into it. Family first, always. But even that simple gesture has become a point of debate. Which family? The one on stage or the one at home? As Sharon sharpens her final strike and the bandmates dig in for what they insist is a fight for principle, the world watches in disbelief. And Ozzy's voice, forever iconic, now echoes from both sides of a war he never lived to referee. Want Part 4, where the courtroom showdown begins. Bombshells are dropped under oath, and a secret witness changes everything.